You were on the journey of a lifetime. You were on the journey of source energy. When you came and you decided to come into this body, you were not scared of resistance. Resistance was something that was like, okay, cool, because you always knew you would have this guidance system. You have a guidance system that's literally built within you, and the value that this guidance system really gives you is that you can get anywhere you want to go from where you are right now. But there's some simple things that you have to understand. You have to understand that this is a vibrational world, and while things are physical in nature, meaning you can see things and you can perceive things physically, there is an evolution to all thoughts. There is an evolution, there's a maturation of thoughts. And at first, the thought, when a vibration will turn into the thought, and then it turns into the emotion. So that means that when you're feeling something, when you catch whiff of how something feels, that means on a vibrational level, you're beginning to translate vibrations. You're beginning to see into this vibrational world, because that's what the emotions give you. Your emotions are literally your most sophisticated, they're the most bougiest way that you have to perceive and translate reality, because your emotions are so smart. Because in your emotions, your inner being is guiding your emotions. Your inner being is running your emotions. So your emotions are considering where you are in relationship to where you want to be, and where your inner being is in relationship to your desire. So your inner being is rich and you're over here not rich, and so your emotions can help you bridge the gap. And so that's what really the power that your emotions give you, because it is powerful. But negative emotion gets a bad rep, because you, at the first sign of negative emotion, you want to bail. You want to get out of your car that you've been driving in, and you want to take notice where you are. You want to look around. You want to look at what is. You want to understand your negative thoughts. And we're saying, but your negative emotion is never something that you were ever scared of, because you always understood when something is negative, when something feels like negative, it's like literally putting your hand on the burning stove. It's like it's burning, so take it off. And that's what negative emotion is. It's like, oh, like I'm gonna avoid this thought. I'm not gonna think this thought. And the more, because here's the thing is that like you're literally on this path. That's the thing we're saying is like you're on this eternal path, and everything that you want, you're naturally going there, because that's where true satisfaction is. There is this forward, and that's what negative emotion really equals. It means that you're going against this forward emotion. You're going against the momentum. Momentum is a really important thing to say, because momentum, your guidance system, and focus are the three biggest things. And of course, the fourth thing would be emotion. So those four things really create your experience. Once you really understand that, you understand how to create anything, because momentum is not something that you create, it's something that you allow. It's something that you allow. And what does it mean to allow momentum? It means that you're not the engine to your desires. You know what that means? It means that you don't have to figure out where everything is going to come from. You just have to keep clear of resistance. That's the thing that's interesting, is that what you want, step one was what you want already, you asked for it. Step two was it was delivered by source gave it to you. Step three is you have to allow it. You have to become, because you're the perceiver of the frequency. That's the thing that's really interesting, is that you're literally the perceiver of the vibration. You're the perceiver of it. And what that means is that you're the only one that can see it. But you have to, it's like a weak signal right now. And we like, that's the thing, is that it's a weak signal right now. And to get the signal stronger and stronger and stronger, that's kind of what focus and momentum is. The signal will become stronger naturally, because that thought, that vibration will evolve into the thought, then to the emotion, and then to something, and then to rendezvous, and to real concrete manifestations that you and everyone can see. But it does take time. But the thing is, it doesn't take that long of a time, because when you're really allowing, and you really notice, because when you don't care about a subject, it grows fast, and you can literally have it as soon as tomorrow or as soon as today. But it's really the subjects that you really care about, that you have the messiest thoughts about. You keep getting out of the car, you're not really moving, because there is this forward motion. There's this forward motion for all of your desires. You're being pulled in that direction, and that's where. So when you feel really bad, that means that you're really going against the flow. And negative emotion really is something to celebrate. It is something to celebrate. And so while you're on this journey of a lifetime, you're being propelled in this direction. And the second that you get out of your car and you stop to take a look around at where you are, because your negative emotion scares you, and you're like, that must mean that I'm meant for this, because negative emotion is you're meant to to cope with your negative emotion. We're like, it's literally guidance. Negative emotion is the best thing in the world, because it's literally telling you what to do. And so you can't get anything wrong. You really can't get it wrong. The only thing that you can do is you can slow down. That vibration will be something that you can begin to perceive, not only with your emotions, but with your eyes, and everyone can see it, and you'll be able to tangibly see it, because that's what a physical manifestation is. Everyone wants physical manifestation, but we're like, but everything you want is a vibrational form right now. And you know what? This is the thing. This is the part. So you have to not do that thing that adds static to the frequency, because here, what you want, your richness, your fortune is on one frequency, but and that frequency is growing in momentum, meaning you're going to be able to decipher it soon. You're going to be able to perceive it soon in its fullest form, the money in the bank account. But every time you talk about not having enough money, because that's where you are right now, then you keep adding static to the equation. So the one thing that slows you down is resistance. That's the thing. And when you add resistance to anything, whether it's momentum, literally like any force of of nature, any motion, when you add a resistance, if everything gets slowed down. So When you're adding resistance to your desires, what that really means is the frequency is getting blurrier and blurrier and blurrier. But so now you can't decipher it because there's too much resistance in the mix. You added too much static in the equation. So the true master understands that it's about creating that general platform and then adding more specifics, meaning you have to know when you, it's like the thing is everyone is catching whiffs of their desires, but since they're so good practiced at their beliefs, meaning they're so practiced with this negative thoughts and negative momentum, because they don't know the tool of negative momentum and that negative thoughts are negative emotion really offers. They don't know the tool that negative emotion truly offers. So they're over here on this frequency and there's so much static, and they try to clean it up, and we're like, well, you don't need to clean up your resistance. That's the thing that's really interesting, is that resistance is not something to be scared of. Resistance is something that you're doing now in this moment. It's happening as a result of your point of attraction now, and that means you can change it. So when there's this frequency and you want to be able to perceive it in this fullest form, and we're like, well, it's in the vibrational form, and that's the thing, is that it's going to turn into the physical form. It has to. It's a law, and law of attraction is the one who makes that transition, who creates it, who matures it. You don't have to keep at your desires, because law of attraction does a better job than you. And so law of attraction literally grows these, desires, literally like the seed, and you just have to not do that thing. But what's interesting is that thing that you do that slows because you can't stop your manifestations from coming. You can only slow them down, and you can even slow them down indefinitely. And that's where we say that you got to catch up with source, and you're not going to really catch fully with source anyways, because that's not what being eternal means. Eternal means that you're always going to be reaching for source, reaching for alignment, reaching for who you really are, because who you really are has taken off like kind of without you, because you're expanding so fast. And that's what this expanding universe is all about. That's what being a creator is all about. You got to create. You're creating yourself, and it's less about the manifestations. But we want you also did come, because what's interesting is that if you truly didn't come here, if you truly were okay with the vibrational version of everything, and you could really say like, what, I don't need the physical version anymore, naturally you would reemerge back into your non-physical self. You would leave your body. But since you're not, since you can really enjoy the emotional version of it, and since you're okay with it, but yet you're still here, it means that you're really here for the physical, to think. You're really here you're a thinker, you're a focuser. You want to see everything. You want to see the manifestations. You want to be a creator. You want to enjoy your manifestations fully, and we're like, we're here for that. But there's something that you just have to understand, that you literally have this guidance system, and the guidance system is like, no one could tell you, because you may go to people and be like, what's my resistance on this subject, help me with the subject, but your guidance system is literally telling you what every single thought is giving thought by thought rundown. And so when you feel those negative emotions, and you can catch it early you can really catch it early before it gets really big, because that's what happens with negative emotion, is that it's literally like you're driving, and then you hit you feel negative emotion, and your GPS is like, you're going the wrong way, and so instead of going the right way, you go the wrong way, because you're like, that's kind of a negative emotion is. That's what momentum is. That's what happens when you go, when it gets bad, it gets bad. It's like that, because you just keep looking at where you are. You got your car, you don't drive in the right direction. And negative emotion helps you with that. Helps you know, like, okay, it's literally like this thought, I don't need to think anymore, because it's not true. So I'm gonna move on with it. I'm not gonna think it anymore. I don't need to think about it anymore, because it's not true. It's not something that I want to carry, because it doesn't feel good. And it all goes back to caring about how you feel. So when you add static into the equation, you need to realize that you're adding static into the equation, and you're adding static into the equation, meaning because you're adding static into the equation, you're able to decipher the frequency less and less. So your riches, your fortune is becoming less and less apparent. It's becoming less. It's less likely that today it's going to become a physical object, because you're pushing it away. But what we're saying is that you can't push it away without knowing that through your negative emotion. Your negative emotion will literally tell you. You don't need someone who's literally out here telling you, right, who's telling you all about that, because you have your own guidance system. You just have to awaken your guidance system, and all you really have to do to awaken your guidance system, and going general, meditation, sleep, all these things reset your momentum. And the true value that all of them give you is that when you have no resistance, when you're meditating and you really achieve that place of detachment where you stop thought, and then you can allow your inner being to think for you, and you can receive your inner being's thoughts. And even if it's daydreaming or virtual reality, all of these processes help you understand what resistance is, so that when you're in the middle of the day and you have a resistant thought, you don't have to be scared of it, because you know it, because you can feel it, so you can catch it early. Because when it gets big, you can't really catch it anymore. You can't fix it, because it's like that car's gonna go down the hill and it's going really fast, and you can't really do anything. You just have to wait for it to finish. You have to wait for you to sleep again, or you have to wait until it plays out. And what we're saying is that if you catch it early, then negative emotion is something you can brush off. It's not really something that you want to convince anyone up, or you want to explain, or you want to understand. It's something that if it's negative, it just means it's negative. It means that it's not something that I need to open up. It's just negative. My inner being doesn't agree with me, and that's what your true guidance is. Because instead of just moving, instead of trusting your guidance, you're questioning it. You're like, well, I have to figure out what this feels. This doesn't feel good. What does it mean? What does it mean? And we're like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, when you go general, when you step back, you get into that place of sensitivity, and then you step back into the specifics, and you can know when you're adding, so when the static is being introduced into the equation, and then you could do something about it. But we're saying, as a result of today's conversation, we're saying that you don't have to do anything about it, because you're gonna go wherever you want to go no matter what. The stream is taking you right now, and the stream is not only taking you, it's taking you fast too. It is taking you fast, because what you want isn't really, you don't need patience. It can come really fast, but you can slow it down. You can slow it down. That's the thing, is that you can, it's like you're driving. Literally imagine looking in the other direction. You're gonna crash your car. That's what everyone's doing. They're looking back. They keep looking back. They keep talking about their negative emotions. They're like, I feel depressed. I wonder why. I feel anxious about this. And we're like, that means that the thought that you're holding in that now moment is literally something you need to drop. It's not helpful. It's not gonna help you at all. It won't be like, well, it's I thought this thought in when I observed something real, like it was coming in observation to what I'm seeing, but we're like, what you're saying doesn't matter, because it's what it's old reality. And we offer so many words, we really offer so many words, but truly it's the feeling. You want to be thought on. It's less about thoughts and more about feeling, because you have to feel your way all the way, because you can do that. You can feel your way all the way to, you feel the path all the way to your fruition of your desire. You don't have to sit here waiting. You don't have to go general as much as you think. You don't have to, because you know all this, you understand all this. The only thing you have to understand now is that negative emotion is literally telling you what to do. That's what's so interesting, is that negative emotion is telling you what to do. Because if that thought wasn't there, then you would be going fast. That's the thing that's interesting. But because that thought is there, you don't have to be afraid of it. And so as a result of this workshop, of this, talk, this video, we're understanding that it is, you don't have to you don't have to clean resistance up. Keep talking about your desire. Keep talking about what you want. Because when you talk about what you want, all of how you truly feel about your desire really pops up, bubbles up, and you can hide it. But your thing is, your negative emotion, your guidance system will literally tell you, it will swat the thoughts away. It'll be like, okay, like this thought, like, well, let's do that right now. So when you think about, breathing, what's the first thought that comes up? Easy. It's just easy, right? Walking, it's easy, unless you have issues walking, unless you have body pains. What about something like money? And so how you really feel about that subject, which is how it's playing out, your guidance system will tell you. And you don't have to be afraid of your guidance system. You don't even have to be afraid of negative emotion, because it's literally telling you something. So the more you keep talking about what you want, because you've gone general, you've done everything you need to do. Now you can really start to lay on the specifics. You can start to, because what we're saying is that you can't even get it wrong, because the only thing you could really do is have negative emotion. And the thing is, you don't have to beat yourself up for negative emotion, because it's not a bad thing. It's actually helpful. And you know what, the thing is, you can't get rid of resistance. It's about the path of least resistance, meaning there's still resistance, but it's the least amount. And so that's what it's all about. It's really about following that path of least resistance, and your inner being is guiding you through most of this. And so it all really comes back to this guidance system, and it's so sophisticated. And through this guidance system, you can really, you can get everywhere you want to go. And that's the thing, is that not only will you get everywhere where you want to go, but you're going to be happy all along the way, which is what everyone wants anyway. So as you enjoy your manifestations, enjoy your life, enjoy your time now, keep talking about what you want, because your guidance system is going to tell you, it's going to smooth out all the kinks. So listen to your guidance. Like, oh, this thought is negative, so let me keep moving. This thought is negative, let me keep moving. I don't have to litigate, I don't have to explain it, I don't have to justify it, I don't have to give motive to it. I mean, I just keep moving. Keep moving, because you can get to everywhere you want to go, and you will get everywhere really fast too, if you really understand that you're the perceiver of it. And all you have to do is just let momentum, law of attraction, do its thing, because naturally it will move from the vibration, from the emotion, and then all the way to the physical manifestation, because that's how it all happens, how everything evolves from a vibration into a thought, into the motion, and then into the physical manifestation. But if along the way from the vibration to the physical object, you're adding static to the equation, you don't have to worry about that, because that's the only reason why it's slowing down anyways. But you have your guidance system to tell you that you're slowing it down through this thought and this thought, this thought, this thought. So we're saying you don't have to worry about those thoughts. You don't have to be scared of those thoughts. You just have to be like, oh, guidance. But we're saying is that you're driving anyways, but you can slow yourself down. Isn't that crazy? That means you could be receiving so much more, and everything's coming to you now, but you're just not able to perceive it. But when you truly let go of this resistance, when you truly understand your negative emotion for what it is, then you just get very fast, and your life just gets better and better and better, because you're not slowing things down anymore. You speed it up, and then you're just satisfied all the time, because what you want is coming to you so fast, which is just how you knew it was going to be when you first came into this body.